Welcome to the third section of the Karel programming course. In this part, we're going to be learning about repeat loops and their uses. Repeat loops allow you to repeat a command or commands without having to type them over and over again. Now, the simplest way to explain this is to show you. So, if we look at this maze I've created, Karel has to move 4 spaces forward to the home square. Now, the old way that you would do this would be typing go 4 times. And then pressing play. And if we watch, he'll move to the home square. But what you can do is use a repeat loop to shorten this up. And you would start it by typing repeat, putting a space, and putting a number for how many times you want it to repeat. In this case, 4 times. Now, we hit enter and type the command we want to repeat, which is go. Now, something I need to point out is if you look before go, there are 2 spaces here. Now that's important because it puts it in the body of the repeat loop, which is everything that it will repeat. So, if we have go typed out like that, when we press play, he'll repeat go 4 times. So let's look. And he did it. Now, let's talk about some common errors that people will make while you're using the repeat command. So, if we restore the maze here, if we go to the repeat command, and let's say we remove the indentation from go, so we just have it like this. When I press play, what will happen is we'll get an error, because the repeat command has nothing in its body. So, you just fix that by putting an indentation before the command. Another thing that is very important is to make sure that there is a space between repeat and the number of times you want to repeat. If there is no space, you'll get an error. And you can notice that if you look at repeat, it's no longer in color. It's all in black text. Once we add that space, the repeat turns purple again, just like any other command. Now, we're going to look at a more complex way to use the repeat loop, which is using multiple commands within one loop. So, if we look at this other puzzle here, Karel has to make it to the home square by going forward, turning left, going forward, and then turning right, and then doing that motion again. We could type that all out, command by command, or we could use the repeat loop to simplify it. So, first, you need to figure out how many times you're going to be repeating, which in this case is going to be 2, because we do it once, and then we do it again, and we get to the home square. So we go to repeat 2. And now we press enter and we type in our first command just like last time. In this case, go. Now, you can keep adding commands to the repeat loop's body just by hitting enter and making sure it has 2 indentations. 1, 2. So, we can type go, and now we can type left, then go, and right. So what will happen is Karel will repeat everything that's in the repeat loop's body, and he should make it to the home square. Let's watch. And see, he made it to the end. Now, let's look at some formatting that you can now do with this. Let's say you didn't want to have a command in your repeat loop. You can do that by taking it out of the body. So if we just wanted Karel to go left, and that was it, we could take it out. We could take the go and the right out. But, obviously now he's not going to make it to the end, because he's going to go, it's going to turn left, it's going to go, it's going to turn left. Let's look what happens. See, he crashed. Because he went forward and turned left, went forward and turned left. Then he tried to go again and crashed into a wall because these commands are no longer inside of the repeat loop's body. But we can add them back in by putting 2 spaces. Let's look at another error as well. Let's say in your body you forget to indent this go, the second one. What will happen is we'll get an error, just like before, because there's no indentation, but the next command is indented. So the way you fix that just by putting the spaces again. Now, let's look at one final example of a repeat loop, which is called the nested repeat loop. In this, you use one repeat inside of another one. So as you can see, I've made a new maze here, where Karel must go around the table and pick up some books and make it to the home square. On each side of the table are 2 books, and then he has to turn left and go to the next side. And this happens until he makes it to the end. So, now the way we would code this is first by typing the first repeat, which is going to be for moving Karel around the table. And since there are 4 sides of the table, we're going to have repeat 4. Then, we press enter, and we type our second repeat. And then, for that, we need to figure out how many times we're going to be repeating, which is 2, because we have to pick up each book. So we go repeat 2, and then it's going to be go, get, to grab the books. Now, something to point out is that if you look at the nested repeat loop, go and get are each indented twice. If we look, you can see that they have 4 spaces before them. That is because we have the first 2 spaces for the first repeat loop, and then the second 2 spaces to be inside of the second repeat loop. This is something that you want to remember while you're typing up nested repeat loops. The next part of our code, it has to be to move Karel around the corners. So the way we would do that is by pressing enter and backspacing twice, so we're in the body of the first repeat loop, and we have to go and turn left. So we type go, left. Now with this code, Karel will move around the table and pick up all 8 of the books. But we need to add one final thing to the end of the code, which is outside of both of the repeat loops, to make sure at the end he goes to the home square. So we have to add a right and a go to the end, because at the end of this repeat loop he's going to be right back where he started, so he needs to turn right and go. Now let's watch. As you can see, Karel moved all the way around the maze and picked up all the books. Now with this, you should have enough knowledge to be able to solve the following puzzles. So, as always, good luck.